All right, welcome back to the greatest training channel on YouTube. Today is gonna be one of those days where we just kind of bury ourselves into the ground. Got a lot of heavy lifting to do today. Yesterday, I was at the track. I had my resisted sprint day, so I was doing a lot of repetitions at long distances with the sled. Did a little bit of plyos at the end of that session. And then today, I've already kind of started off with some med ball jumps, trying to get the legs warmed up, get everything firing again, get ready for what's to come for today's session. But we're gonna start off today's session with some cleans. I'm gonna be doing the same number of sets, same number of reps as the last 2 weeks, but increasing the overall load on the bar. 3 cleans, 2 front squats, going to be somewhere around 140 to 145 kilos on the bar. So still maintaining a focus of just a little bit of volume and kind of working on the technique of the clean versus trying to really push the overall load on the clean. I might start upping the weight on the cleans and the snatches as we get into the next training block. We'll see how it goes. I still need to write out the next block and figure out what it is I want to do. This is my heavy week for this training block. So what I generally do is I'll complete the heavy week of the training block, kind of see where everything is at. And then as I go through my deload, I'm gonna start programming for the next block and try to build off of wherever I felt like my peak strength was at during this block. But I already have an idea that like the back squats, we're probably gonna be doing doubles. Bench press, we're probably gonna be doing somewhere around 3 to 4 repetitions, trying to bring that down. So last training block, when we started this strength cycle, I was around I was on 8s and 10s on the bench press. Now I did some 6s and 8s. We're gonna be moving our way down towards doing 4 reps on the bench press. Probably do a couple sets of 4 today. Back squats, we started with 5s. Now we moved on to 3s. The next block, I'm probably gonna be doing doubles. The cleans, probably going to start taking out the complex and just working on cleans itself. Might continue the clean front squat variation. Might just do a bunch of cleans, but we'll see as we get there. So today, like I said, we're gonna start off with the cleans. So I'm gonna warm up. I'm gonna knock out some sets around that 140, 145 range. And then we're gonna get into the heavy lifting for the day. Today is one of those days where it's a little too warm to wear pants. I'm already sweating my ass off. All I've done is some jumps and a couple warm-up sets. Pants are coming off today. But as I'm changing here real quick, what I would like to ask you guys is if you're here for the first time and you like what you see, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. We have a 5,000 subscriber goal for the channel. Last I checked, we're real close to like 300 subscribers away. I think we're like right around that 4,700 mark on the total subscribers right now. At 5,000 subscribers, I'm gonna be releasing a free program for you guys. Like the video, subscribe, and get free shit. Now we're on to the meat and potatoes of the session today. We're gonna be building up to that AMRAP set on the back squat. Ideally, what I'd like to be is 200 or above for a minimum of 6. Goal would be 8. Anything above 8 is kind of like extra credit. So as I'm warming up, I'm only gonna be doing sets of like 3 to 4. Try to minimize the amount of fatigue that I'm generating as I warm up on these. Make sure that the weight is moving fast. And then as I get closer to like 180, maybe 190, I'll make the decision on what that AMRAP set's gonna be. Ideally, I don't wanna do like a warm-up set at 200 and then do an AMRAP set at 210. I think that'll be pretty fatiguing. So by the time I get to like 180, if everything's feeling great, then I'm gonna be aiming for that 210 mark, probably do a warm-up set, go 180, 195, 210, or maybe I go 180, 190, 200, but try to make like 10 to 15 kilo jumps as I'm getting closer to that, and minimize the amount of total warm-up sets above 200, since that's gonna be kind of my goal minimum for the AMRAP set today. Bench press felt good though, 140 for the top set. I did some drop sets after that at 125. Didn't do my AMRAP set today. Arms are feeling already pretty fried, so decided to save that energy and move on to the back squat. Yeah, so we're gonna warm up for this and see how it goes. All right, 200 on the bar. Since I want to minimize the amount of repetitions, I'm doing above 200 today. I'm just going to do a single at 200. Based on how fast I feel that single moves, I'm either going to repeat 200 and do my AMRAP set, or I'm going to throw 10 kilos on and do my AMRAP set. So, feels easy, we're going up. If it feels difficult, we're going to stay at 200. I can tell you right now, we're going to 210. Sometimes when you unrack the weight, it just doesn't feel like you unracked anything. So we're gonna put on 210 and we're gonna fucking send it and see how many reps we can get at 210. All right, AMRAP set. I'm extremely happy with that. We got into the extra credit range. Was able to get 10. As soon as I got to 6, I knew I could get more than 8, so I immediately started thinking to myself, all right, we're gonna go for 10 reps. There were a couple sloppy reps in there that made probably the set feel a little bit more fatiguing than it should. When you're doing anything towards max effort, any little slight movement forward, back, side to side is just going to make you fight harder through that repetition, and then overall could make that set feel more fatiguing. I don't know if I really could have got much more than 10 reps on that. I'm very happy with that top set. But what I'm gonna do to finish off today is a couple back off sets. So took 20 kilos off the bar. I'm gonna do 1 to 2 sets of 2 to 3 reps just to get a little bit extra volume in on the squats, because I'm not gonna be doing any accessory work today. And then that's gonna be it for the session. If doing 210 for 10 reps as a 38-year-old dude isn't worth a like and a subscribe, I don't know what is. Oh, this is gonna feel much heavier than it should. Maybe not. Whew. We'll do 2 sets of 3 on that. I'm sweating my ass off right now. Oh, while we're on the squats, my #1 pet peeve when it comes to the squat, and I don't know why this bothers me, but it does. When you're doing a back squat, especially when you're doing anything that's going to be considered heavier loads, for most people, once you start getting to like that 85, 90% range, that's when things start to get heavy. 80, 75, 70, you know, those aren't normally perceived as heavier loads. But as soon as you get into heavy loads, my biggest pet peeve is the way people bring the bar out of the rack. The 2 things I try to do when I get the bar out of the rack is I try to get my feet set underneath the bar and then lift it straight up. What I see a lot of people do is they kind of get into this split stance like this, and then they try to lift the bar from here. I don't know why that bothers me. It does. It's a lot harder to unrack the bar, wasted energy, especially at heavier loads. You want to try to minimize the amount of energy that you're going to be using up prior to doing the actual lift. So get your feet underneath you. The bar should be racked up somewhere like collarbone height. That way, when you unrack the bar, you got a very minimal knee bend. Again, just helps you save energy. The other thing that kind of bothers me a lot is when people bring the bar out. And I used to coach CrossFit classes. I saw people do this all the time, and it bugged the shit out of me. What they would do is they would unrack the bar, and then they would walk 5 feet away from the bar in order to do their repetition. I don't know if it's because they were scared if they were gonna fail a rep that they would hit the squat rack or whatever it was, but you could watch today's video. I'm pretty sure I did it every time. I mean, sometimes I mess up and I don't do my setup the proper way, especially at lighter loads. I kind of rush through it and get a little bit lazy. But what I like to see is practice getting into your stance with as minimal amount of movement as possible. So it should be one step, maybe you have to adjust a foot or something, but that should be the maximum amount of movement that you do when you're unracking a bar. You shouldn't have to take more than 2, maybe 3 steps, depending on how you like to unrack. Sometimes if the bar is extremely heavy, you're going for a new 1 rep max, you gotta unrack it, take a little short step, and then big, whatever that might be. 3 steps at most. If you take more than 3 steps, you're just wasting energy and you're wasting your time. So get underneath the bar, get your feet underneath your hips, take a deep breath, already begin to start bracing from this position here, unrack the bar, 1 step, and then you should be in your squat position already. If you need to, you can kind of adjust a foot, but you shouldn't be moving forward or back too much. And I know I'm talking about not wasting energy and I'm standing here with the barbell on my back, but just as an example, you want to minimize the amount of time that you've got that bar on your back prior to doing your first rep. So get yourself set, take your breath. And then when you re-rack it, it's just another 2 steps forward and that barbell's back into the rack. That's gonna be it for today's session. Mighty damn fine session today. Tomorrow, gonna be an accessory day. I'm not gonna film tomorrow. I'm gonna stick on that schedule, 2 to 3 videos a week, allow each video to kind of get a little bit of time to marinate, get some views, get some traction before I upload the next video. So the next video I'm gonna do later on this week, probably gonna be the block starts, possibly, no, it will be my front squat session because I'm gonna be doing a front squat max at the end of the week. So I'll definitely videotape that. What I might do is film a little bit of my block start session and then film my front squat session and put those together. That's gonna be it for today. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later on.